Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here and welcome to Zone of the Enders, the second run of Mars on PS4. This game launched earlier this month, but with everything that's been going on, I've only just had a chance to sit down and check it out. Zone of the Enders is one of those series that I've always known about, and as someone that loves mechs, be that Gundam, Gurren Lagann, Evangelion, anything like that, it's always appealed to me, but I have to shamefully admit that I've never actually had a chance to play it before. So naturally, with a remaster coming to PS4 paired with the VR editions, now seem like the best time to check it out. I also want to thank Konami very kindly for sponsoring this video and providing me with the opportunity to check out the game. So I figured what we do is take a moment to just set the scene, talk a bit about the game and what this remaster has to offer, and also check out the added VR component. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated, and be sure to comment down below. Let me know if you guys have played this series before, or if you've perhaps picked this up now that it's on PS4.
To switch lock-on targets, use the L2 button. Enemy destroyed.
Now, where to begin? Well, if this is somehow the first time you're hearing about this game or this series, and you're wondering what Zone of the Enders is, then it's a third-person action game with shooter and hack-and-slash style combat. The second run of Mars game launched in 2003 on PlayStation 2 as a sequel to the first game that came out in 2001. You control an orbital frame in this one known as Jehuti, and as you'd expect from a mech game, you'll be using the wide array of abilities at your disposal to dispatch large groups of enemies and engage in epic battles whilst feeling like you're a badass pilot right out of an anime. Since its original debut in 2003, the Zone of the Enders HD collection launched in 2012, giving people a chance to dive back into the series, and now, with the second run of Mars remaster, you can experience it once more, this time with 4K resolution options and VR. The textures and models have been updated, as have the visual effects, so this is for sure the best the game has ever looked. What you're watching in the background are segments of gameplay from the beginning of the game, running on PS4 Pro, and this is how you'll typically play the game if you're not diving into the VR world. You assume third-person control of the orbital frame, you dash around and move fluidly whilst engaging both at range and close up, but if you want a completely different experience, then this is where VR comes into play. With this new addition, you're able to play from cockpit view and fight from inside Jehuti, and this really does provide a really cool and unique angle. Being able to look around at all sides and see what it's like to sit inside this giant orbital frame, being able to dash at high speeds into combat from this first-person perspective, it really does feel pretty epic. I will say my only one major gripe is that the cutscenes tend to interrupt the flow of VR a little bit. When you're in cockpit, you have full 360-degree view around you, you dash around, you get stuck in, but then as soon as a cutscene triggers, you're presented with a window through which you watch it. Now this is pretty standard for VR when it comes to navigating menus or looking at screens outside of the ones that you're actually involved in, but it does mean that anytime the game wants to push the story forward a bit, your immersion is broken. However, you can, if you just want to get stuck into the combat, skip these anyway, so it is very easy to just bypass this and get right back in the action, and that's ultimately what I ended up doing. I replayed the same sections of the game in both regular third-person mode and in VR 2 to experience the differences, and while VR might not be something you can play for too long, since, you want to give your eyes a rest after a while, it is a really cool new way to experience the game, and some of these cool battles. Also, given that you can just dive into VR when you please, it's also something you can jump into if perhaps you want to experience a certain part of the game in the cockpit, maybe a special battle or something like that. Then you can always revert to playing in third person, again should you wish. So all up, for my time playing so far, I'm having a lot of fun. Keep in mind, it is still an older game, so some gameplay systems might not be as fluid as, say, something that's launched in the past few years, but for a game that first launched in 2003 and has been remastered, it does feel like it's aged really well. Sometimes when there are games that you've missed, and you try to dive into them years later, it can be a little bit difficult if you don't have that nostalgic connection. But this is something that I started enjoying right away, so I'm genuinely glad that I finally, after all these years, had a chance to see what this series has to offer. But that, my friends, is pretty much it from me. That was a quick look at Zone of the Enders' second run of Mars in both regular and PSVR mode. Let me know down below if you guys have played this or are going to be playing it, and of course, if you want to know anything else, then by all means, ask me down below. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out some more awesome stuff from us here at Arekkz Gaming, then you should definitely try to catch TwoSixNine and Paradise Central streaming 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. They play a wide range of games, and what's more, we also have the Endgame store. By watching their streams, you earn currency, and you can redeem that currency on the endgame store for really cool prizes. Those can range from things like games, comics, and figures, all the way up to controllers, capture cards, and even consoles. So definitely drop by and become part of the community. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you're subscribed and be sure to click on that little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. You can watch more videos by clicking on the options here, but once again, thanks very much for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.